Mike Hansen
It kind of reminds me of my Scandinavian ancestry.
is a man of the world, having lived in Zimbabwe, Canada, and Denmark.
So it brings together my, my ancestry and my new land.
Before starting this farm in Randolph County a decade or so ago.
One of the things as an immigrant is I've traveled a lot, and finding connection with land has intrinsically been difficult for me because I've never been in one place long enough.
As Mike moved, these two pecan trees stayed exactly where they are for 175 years.
At first, these trees were planted for the home and the farm family took care of them. But now, the trees are taking care of the farm.
It's not the kind of farm you'd see in a textbook. Most people would look at this and say,
You need to weed eat.
yeah.
Yeah, if you don't understand a regenerative farm, you're going to look and say, this looks messy. And I'm going to tell you, nature is messy.
About 7 years ago, Mike and his wife Sue made the decision to turn this place from a farm into a pharmacy.
So the food and medicine forest actually came about after we lost a tomato crop one year, all of it to disease before all the tomatoes were ripened, and it was just my wife Sue and I doing the work. So 6 months of work down the drain, and we saw $300 from that. And we started to wonder whether we were doing things right.
They were convinced they were finally doing things right when Sue began healing.
My wife is a cancer survivor, and in the last 8 years, she hasn't taken any prescription drugs, she hasn't taken any OTC drugs. And that is because of the lifestyle that we choose to live.
He can't guarantee it's this lifestyle, but his friend Linwood Watson believes there's more than a little to it.
I'm actually a physician by training, so I like to think I know something about health and wellness and the difference of both.
Dr. Watson went to medical school at East Carolina.
There's an old cliche that you go to Western medicine for cures, you go to ethnobotany or native medicine for healing.
His Haliwa-Saponi Native American heritage tells him that billions of years of nature have created systems stronger than anything man can impose upon it.
You try to replace nature, nature's going to have some bad surprises for you. We think we're so smart, with one solution, but, we're playing checkers, mankind is. Nature is playing chess. And by the way, they're also on the board.
So Dr. Watson has helped the Hansens build a farm full of things like mulberries, herbs, and pawpaw trees that have grown here for millennia, which brings us back.
Trees are a big part of what makes life special on this planet.
To those pecan trees.
Look at this limb here to the left, that's almost as large as a pretty good sized tree.
E.B. Brown works with the nonprofit Leaf and Limb, whose Pando project is helping plant thousands of trees across the state, and in exchange for some seeds from Mike's trees,
when we're collecting seed, we love seed that has a backstory.
He provided Ozark Akerz with a variety of other local trees.
People get a lot more excited to plant a pecan tree that has this kind of story than just any old pecan tree.
Is it a better seed necessarily?
Yeah. It would be. Yeah. So these have lived through a lot.
And treated right, these elders are likely to be here for another 2 centuries, standing guard over all the plants designed to be here. Bob Buckley, Fox 8 News.